Sunny Cove is a luxury 6-star resort on the Gold Coast that caters for wealthy holiday makers and international corporate high flyers. The resort has an unsurpassed reputation for excellence in hospitality with its famous day spa, 3 restaurants, 18-hole golf course and state-of-the-art function centre. More recently, however, Sunny Cove has been plagued by a number of customer complaints and has problems retaining employees. The employees complain of boredom and feel that their performance is not recognised by senior employees or by the clientele. Mark recently joined Sunny Cove on its graduate development program after completing his Bachelor of Tourism and Hospitality Management degree from Griffith University. The purpose of the graduate program is to groom university graduates as future resort managers and beyond as potential senior managers in the hotel's international chain. Since joining the graduate program 6 months ago, Mark has been stuck in the front office, overseeing reservations for the hotel, and has not really had the opportunity to broaden his skills or gain experience in other aspects of the business, such as sales, marketing, HR, or other areas of the resort. Mark's main duties have included handling reservation inquiries and bookings and checking in guests to the resort. Mark has indicated to friends that he has very little job satisfaction and feels quite demotivated. Some days it is difficult for him to even think about going to work. He has shared with friends that he believes that his current role is not challenging enough for someone with a degree qualification. The following observations have been noted about Mark and his manager John and the working conditions at Sunny Cove. Mark's friends and colleagues consider him to be a very social and outgoing individual. On many occasions, he is responsible for organising employee social functions. He's known for his spontaneity and love for undertaking new challenges. He tends to make quick decisions that are based on gut instinct rather than facts, which can get him into trouble sometimes. Mark is also known for being somewhat disorganised. Mark is known for his good listening skills and ability to empathise with others. He believes he is well suited to customer service work as he is always concerned about others and ensuring harmony among his work colleagues. Mark prefers to learn by doing hands-on tasks rather than by observing others do the work. He enjoys working with others to solve tasks, especially since he tends to rely on their analysis more than his own when solving problems. Mark is still in his early 20s and not long out of university, and his main goals in life are to have an exciting job that pays well, including good performance-based bonuses. He hopes to combine his love for travel and meeting new people with a challenging career that has a lot of promotional potential. One of the reasons Mark joined Sunny Cove was due to the prospect of an accelerated career after completing the graduate program. Mark was told that he had a range of career paths available to him in the hotel industry. The working conditions of Mark's job include a starting salary of $50,000, considered average for a recent graduate, mobile phone, flexible hours, and the bonus of working in one of Australia's premier resorts on the Gold Coast. Mark particularly values these rewards and loves to brag about them to his friends, who, according to Mark, work long hours in boring high-rise accounting firms. Recently, however, Mark has begun to doubt the benefit of what he thought was his dream job. In contrast to what he expected from the information provided at interview, the flexible hours have turned out to translate into working frequent night shifts, 2 out of 4 weekends, and often on public holidays, such as New Year's Eve. These working hours are negatively impacting his social life. Furthermore, rather than travelling around the world to other Sunny Cove resorts, or even working in other aspects of the Gold Coast resort, Mark spends all of his time behind a desk in the reception area of the hotel. Mark was also attracted to the Sunny Cove job, as he was told during the selection process that the resort paid large cash bonuses to employees if the resort performed well financially in terms of consistently high occupancy rates in the hotel, including holding a number of high-profile golfing tournaments each year together and attracting large functions to the conference centre on a regular basis. After joining the resort, however, Mark discovered that the cash bonuses are generally only paid to senior management and not shared among other members of employees. In particular, employees like Mark, who are the real face of the resort and responsible for dealing with clients and guests on a day-to-day basis. Like the other employees, Mark believes that this system of rewarding bonuses is very inequitable, and thus represented another reason for his growing dissatisfaction and lack of motivation. Since joining the resort 6 months ago, Mark has not had any performance planning sessions, reviews, or even any informal feedback sessions with his direct manager. This has left Mark unsure of how he's performing and uncertain of his future direction at the resort. Mark had been promised that the resort paid a great deal of attention to its graduates, and managers were meant to meet regularly with him to review past performance and discuss future goals and direction. Mark is generally a confident individual who believes in his own abilities and is willing to take responsibility when things go wrong. He knows he is responsible for his own future success and works hard to achieve those goals. However, the lack of feedback is starting to affect his confidence. The only contact Mark seems to have with his manager involves him being told what to do in regard to his job, how it should be done, and in what time frame, and other such strict instructions which leave no room for Mark to think for himself. This is another aspect of the job that Mark finds particularly frustrating. Mark's manager does not demonstrate very good people skills. His communications with employees are mainly on a negative basis. For example, he is known for his fiery temper. Whenever John comes out of his office wearing his jacket and holding his clipboard, employees know that it means John is sporting his angry boss persona. Such a display is generally associated with John yelling at employees and accusing them of poor performance. He often threatens employees that he will fire them if they do not improve their performance. Mark, like other employees, now know to avoid him if they see him come out of his office in such a manner. Mark wishes that John would learn to be more positive in his dealings with employees and praise them for when they do their job well. John, however, does not believe in telling employees when they do a good job, as he has been heard to say, "People should just perform well all the time, and I shouldn't have to praise them for meeting their job expectations." John harbours a view that Mark is just another typical university student who does not really care about work or doing a good job, and is only interested in collecting a paycheck, just like John did when he left university. Mark is a person that strongly values honesty and integrity. However, he feels John does not display these attributes, and this is causing further stress and dissatisfaction for Mark. John believes it is alright to deliberately include extra charges on some customers' bills, particularly when they are being paid for by corporate accounts. John figures that such large corporate organisations would never notice the small discrepancies, but the amounts help improve the overall figures for Sunny Cove. John becomes angry with Mark when he fails to add these extra charges on customer accounts like he does. John is the type of person who would prefer to work in his office with the door closed and likes to minimise his contact with employees. He shows little regard for the feelings or concerns of his employees. In contrast to Mark, John dislikes any change and prefers to have a stable and organised workplace. He enjoys being manager because it gives him power and control. With the decrease in Sunny Cove's performance, John has started to receive a lot more pressure from senior management to improve the employees' performance and cut costs. This is one of the reasons why John has started to overcharge corporate guests. When questioned about his performance by senior management, John typically blames it on others, despite a history of employee complaints about him and a series of poor performance reviews. For a manager, John shows little faith or belief in his own abilities. This case study forms the basis of this trimester's major assessment, and the accompanying questions are: 1. Using the concepts from topics 2 and 3, personality styles, values, perception, and individual decision-making, compare and contrast the behavioural description of Mark and John. Indicate if you think they are suited to their roles at Sunny Cove or not, and discuss the reasons for your decision. 2. With particular reference to concepts from topics 4 and 5, emotions, attitudes, stress, motivation, and performance, and with reference to the behavioural description of Mark in question 1, what recommendations would you make to improve Mark's job satisfaction and motivation?